MTN SME Hub. Link to growth, link to success, link to the ultimate resource for business advice and insights.
Welcome back to the Big Small Business Show, and in studio with us today we've got Lihle Malitjane. She's the founder of My Sweet Potato, and her issue that she's facing is hiring. It's a common problem in many small and medium-sized businesses. In fact, I suppose it pertains to all types of businesses, and somebody who's been doing it for a long time. I still battle with it myself. I've got better over the years, but I still battle with it, and I've put a whole bunch of processes in place, which I'll share with you just now.
Awesome.
But the one thing I want to understand is that other than time, wasting time, what has been the cost to your business, to My Sweet Potato, for hiring the wrong people?
We've lost clients. I think that's the most painful one. We've lost clients because of simply having the wrong people as part of the team.
And do you think that there is a correlation between what you're paying and the quality? In other words, if you pay more, you're going to get better? Or have you experienced that there's no correlation at all?
I did think there was a correlation between the two. But I think, firstly, as a small business, it's quite difficult to pay really well. If we're still starting out, we're going to pay out somewhat starting out prices. So I think when we have given the more not generous, but the bigger salaries, obviously the expectations are also a little bit bigger. And then the disappointment has also been a bit bigger.
Tell me about the training in the business. How do you train? What is the structure of how you train your staff?
Specifically for our chefs, I do a very hands-on training. So for the first month, I'm with the chef in the kitchen. So whether they're making sandwiches or whatever it is that they're making, they have to do it our way. And so we'll give them access to our recipes.
Written?
Yes, written down. And the more popular recipes are actually stuck on the wall so that they see them as frequently as they need to. And then we'll do tests. So let's say we're doing something new this month. Then we will do those trial runs together in the kitchen. So I'm very hands-on with the training, which is unfortunate because it's not my strong point. So I think there probably could be a better way of doing it. But I do spend a lot of time in the kitchen, specifically because that's the heart of our business.
Tell me about Lihle, the manager. Okay, I know you're a great entrepreneur, but tell me about you as manager. How do you manage?
I'm very hands-on. I don't want to call it micromanaging because nobody likes that term, but I do allow people some space. But if I feel that you're underperforming, then I'll be a little bit more. Yeah. And I do extend quite a bit of grace, but I also understand that this is a business. I can't just be all willy-nilly.
How do you know when you've trained your staff that they actually know what you have just trained them on? Do you have assessments, tests?
No. So not for cooking. The proof is in the pudding. So I'll let them do something, let's say a curry, for example, because we do really good curries. And I'll be in the office and they get a chance to prepare a curry and just bring it to me so that I wouldn't have interfered in terms of quantity or decrease the heat or anything like that, and then I get to taste it. And if I'm happy with it, then they can start doing it by themselves.
But what happens if they put a lot more meat in that curry, more than the recipe allowed, or they just took their time? Do you measure that in terms of how much time they take to produce the curry? In other words, if a curry should take 53 minutes, are they allowed 53 minutes to make a curry? If it requires 100 grams of chicken per portion, or do you measure that, or do you just taste it?
No, we weigh it. So with the ingredients, we weigh it. And I think that's why it was so important to document the recipes so that they can see what is required. So if they're cooking for 20 people, they know that it has to be, let's say, for example, 4 or 5 kilograms of beef. And when it's 100 people, they have all of that information.
What happens when they get it wrong?
Then we do it again. But sometimes if there's no time, then I'll do it the next time.
So you're doing it, you're training them on with clients on the other end.
So if I'm cooking, then I'm cooking for a client and they are observing.
Okay.
But when they are cooking by themselves, then they're cooking for just
just
for me to give a thumbs up.
Talk to me about your probation. Do you follow a probation process?
Yes, we do. We do.
Yes.
It's quite interesting because we have a situation right now.
Okay.
We do. So we have a 3-month probation. And if I'm not happy in the 3 months, then I will notify the candidate and let them go. But that's obviously after multiple interventions. So I will try to hold their hand and, make sure that as long as they're following the systems that I've put in place, it's easy for me to extend myself and give them the assistance that they need. But if they are not adhering to how we work, then it becomes difficult to gauge whether they actually need help or do they want to do their own thing. So I use the systems that we have to try and get some order.
Last question for me is around quality control. They came in, they were great, they went to the training, they did very well, with the right amount of meat and all is good. But then they went into decline, they even got through your probation, right? Tell me about quality control measures in My Sweet Potato.
So when I'm not in the kitchen, then they have to bring everything that is going to leave the kitchen to my office so that I can taste and basically sign off.
Okay.
But sometimes it does happen that I'm actually not even in the kitchen at all.
Yeah.
We do have a...
You're in studio?
Yes, like today. And so we use the trust method to just, hopefully it works right, because the people that I do have, I do trust. And so when I do leave them alone without my supervision, I know that they will more often than not do it right.
Okay. So Lihle, I think I've got enough information to give you some insights. And so we're going to take a break now. And as soon as we come back, I'll have things to think about for Lihle.
MTN SME Hub, link to business success.